Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. What's going on? Welcome to the YouTube live stream, the weekly game plan. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. So, this week is supposed to be a very important week for the market because the market is at the crossroads right now, and it's between the bulls and the bears who are fighting, and the bulls are coming under pressure right now. So we shall see if the bulls can withstand the pressure from the bears and close the year on a high note, or whether the bears are going to take control and get things finalized here, right? To take control, take the momentum, and hold the bull by the horn, kind of thing, right? So we shall see how that plays out. Excited to present today's game plan here. This is going to be a pivotal week in the market before the holidays. So if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from, which city, which country you're tuning in from today. My name is Richard Ajay, and I'm the head trader here at Trading Rich. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. Which city, which country. So I'll get started right away. So let me know which city you're tuning in from today, or which country you're tuning in from. If you're joining us for the first time, please put one in the chat, and we will get started here. Put one in the chat. Just waiting for a few folks to join here, and we'll get this party started. So for those that have tuned in, let me know which city you're tuning in from. And also make sure that the red live dot is on your YouTube to make sure that you are live, right? So that you get this live and not get this delayed, okay? So check out, make sure that the live red button is showing on your screen to ensure that you are live and not behind, okay? All righty. So yeah, so this week is going to be a very important week because there's a lot of catalysts happening this week. So let's check out the first catalyst that we have here. So we have on Monday, Monday is a little bit like, benign stuff. We have Empire State Manufacturing Survey, which comes out at 8:30 p.m. and then we have 8:30 a.m. and then we have I think this first peak is something that is going to move the market in maybe they might say something about rate cuts or something, but I don't think the market is worried about Fed right now. The market is more worried about CPI and other things that are going to happen this week. So here we do have employment reports. This is a delayed employment report that's going to be coming out on Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. and then we are going to get the hourly wages, and also at 10 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday we are going to get business inventories. Like, this is not really going to do much to the market. The main one is going to be the employment number, US employment number. This is going to be a market moving event. And then we go to Wednesday. So on Wednesday we only have like Fed speakers. We have the governor, first Governor Wallace speaking, and then we have the New York Fed chair also speaking, and Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic also speaking at 12:30 p.m. Then we move on. We go to Thursday is going to be where more of the action is going to be. We have the initial jobless claims. We also have like CPI inflation data, and we have like the core CPI stuff happening. So this is something that the market is going to wait on. And so far, there's going to be a delayed data, so I don't know how the market is going to react to it, but the market will always take it serious. And we also have jobless claims. So I'll be mostly focused on the jobless claims number, because the jobless claims, the higher this number goes. So the estimate now is the median forecast is 223,000. And if this comes like higher than that, maybe 230,000, 250,000, the market is not going to like that, and the market is going to sell off, right? And also, the other thing that we have to look at as well is that we also have to look at what is happening in Japan, right? So the Japanese central bank are going to be announcing their interest rate decision on Friday, December 19th, right? Which is going to be, they're going to do, because Japan is about 12 hours ahead of us. By the time they announce the rate decision, that would have already had an impact on the global markets, right? Because Japan is very important because of the what is called the yen carry trade. So for the last 30 years, Japan has been the world's liquidity pump, whereby folks can take the yen at very low interest rate or negative interest rate, convert it to US dollars, or invest it in the US markets, crypto markets, stock markets, real estate, and other things. Are also invested in all parts of the world. Like, it could be in Canada, it could be in Australia, it could be in Europe. So right now, Japan's bonds are not doing well. Japanese bond, and every country, your bonds are very critical, because if nobody's buying your bonds, then it's going to cause, or if investors figure out that your bonds are not worth it, what happens is that your bond yield go up, right? So you can see here, as we can see here, if you look at this, if you go to the Japanese JPY here, so you can see that the Japanese 10-year yield has been rising. It went as high as 1.98, almost 2%. We are going to see if it's going to go up this week. So the market has not fully priced in interest rate hikes in Japan. So Japanese economy is not the best right now. The bonds are really not doing well. So Japan's central bank has to do what it needs to do in order to protect its economy, right? And one of the things it needs to do is it needs to increase interest rate. So for those that have been trading the market for some time, we were trading in 2022. You know what happened when the US Fed increased interest rates in 2022 to fight inflation? What happened was it caused the market to sell off in the US, because high inflation is not good, because high interest rates affect businesses. So if, let's say, you had a $5 billion loan as a tech company, and your interest rate was 0%, and all of a sudden the interest rate is 5%, that means that you're going to be paying a lot of interest on your loan, which is not fun, right? So if Japan increases their interest rate, it's going to have impact on the yen carry trade, and it's going to cause those guys that have taken money from Japan and invested in the US to start pulling their funds out, right? Because now they have to pay high interest, right? Also, what's going to happen as well is that once this happens, we are going to see the most important thing from that decision is going to be, is the Japanese Fed going to be very hawkish, like as in, okay, we are going to cut more interest, we are going to increase more interest rates as we go into 2026, right? If that happens, that means that more and more people who were invested in the US market and the financial markets in general will need to come take their money out, right? Because now that money that they have, which did not have any interest on it, or even had negative interest on it, all of a sudden is now accruing interest. So they have to figure out what they have to do. So this is what I'm looking at for this week, right? Apart from the CPIs in the US, CPIs and jobless claims, the most important catalyst is the catalyst in Japan, right? So if the Japanese Fed increases interest rates and hikes, if they're very hawkish and says that, hey, we are going to increase more interest rates in 2026, then expect to see a massive sell-off in the US markets and in the crypto market and the financial markets in general. So globally, you are going to see global markets sell off. And for those of you that have been in the market since like last year in, I believe it was August or so, when the Japanese carry trade was an issue, it caused the US market to sell off by 10% in just a couple of days. So I don't know what's going to happen now, but it's just like a warning shot or a flag for people to know that, hey, something ominous is brewing and it could cause something bad in the financial markets. Okay. All right. So now that we know the catalyst for the week, let's look at how the market performed last week, right? So last week we got the FOMC in the US, like that's the Fed rate cut decision. So the US Fed cut interest rate by 25 basis points, and the Fed also had some, they bought like 40 billion of treasury bills and stuff like that, and that is something that is pumping liquidity into the market. So overall, the US Fed sounded dovish, and they, as normal, they are going to say, hey, we are not sure we are going to cut interest rate in 2026. We have to wait for the data first and all that stuff. But based on what we heard, it sounded as if there's going to be more interest rate cuts in 2026, right? So more interest rate cuts is good for the market and it's good for risk assets, and it's going to cause them to rally. So what we saw was the IWM. The IWM was the small cap ETF of the Russell 2000 rallied to all-time highs, right? That was last week, right? So it made new all-time highs, which is a big milestone, right? And then we also saw the SPY. We also saw the Dow Jones Index also make new all-time highs. And we saw SPY also come and retest the previous all-time highs right over here. So he tested the previous all-time highs here and put in a double top, okay? And the worst performing index amongst them all was the Nasdaq, the QQQ, right? So, so the QQQ has led the way all year long, right? Can you believe it? Like the QQQ has led the way all year long due to the AI trade, right? And now all of a sudden, the QQQ is lagging behind. Right, lagging behind the other indices. So there's something going wrong in the AI trade. So we are going to discuss that later in this YouTube live, and we are going to go through what's happening in the AI trade, right? So there's now more and more competition into the AI space, whereby the chip makers like Nvidia and stuff are getting a lot of competition now. Okay, so over here, we can clearly see that the QQQ did not even make new highs, right? It's not tested all-time highs yet since the time it did the all-time high in October, right? Since October, it's been just weak selling off, right? So this week is going to be crucial, right? So let's go to the SPY and let's look at what's going on there in terms of the chart, right? There's a very important chart. So here with the SPY, what I'm looking for is that I'm looking at this. So you can see here, see this trend line here. This trend line here connects the lows of May 23rd to where we are at now from last week Friday. That was December 12th, right? So if you see one touch, there's a green arrow here. One touch, two touch, three, and 4, right? So we tap this 4 times. So the SPY must hold this trend line, okay? This week, this SPY must hold this trend line. So this is the critical trend line. If the S&P holds it, then it's going to recover and possibly go and retest the all-time highs and make new all-time highs. However, if it fails, then we are going to get the sell-off to the downside, right? We are going to get the sell-off to the downside. So if you're watching this YouTube video, make sure that you tap the live button there. There's a live button which shows red. So make sure you tap it to make sure that you are watching this live and not delayed, okay? And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also share this link with your friends and family so that they can join and also learn, right? And hit the notification bell so that anytime I go live, you also get a notification that I'm live or anytime we post a video. So this is the trend line I'm watching this week to see how the SPY navigates it, right? If it's able to hold, then great. We are going to do a reversal. But if it fails, the next target is going to be the 100. We are going to come back here to the 100 SMA, which is a critical level, right? So you see this, one touch, two touch, 3, 4, 5, like several times, right? So whatever it is, I believe that we are going to get some kind of reaction here if the market is to sell, right? Also, we should not forget this. This is the double top, right? Double top is a bearish reversal pattern. And also when you take off the lines, you're going to see that the red candle here from the red candle here from Friday was a strong one that wiped out this action here, right? So it's like, it wiped out the whole candle of this, and we could get more pressure to the downside. So far, the futures market is showing some strength so far. The last time I checked, it's currently showing green, right? The what's it called? The futures is showing green. It was started with red, but it's showing green now, which is a positive sign, which shows that the bulls want to take control. They don't want to mess up things. They don't want to mess up Christmas, right? They don't want to mess up the Santa Claus rally. So they are their main business. And if they have to do something, they have to do it this week, right? If they fail to deliver this week, it's over, right? The bears will take control and demolish things. So we shall see how that plays out. So far, so good. The ES futures is trading like it's 10 points up, so which is around 1 point up here. So if I put the lines back, so here this was the close of Friday. If we add $1 to it, we are going to get 182.84. So 182.84 here. That is if the market was open right now. That's where it's going to be trading, right? 182.84, right? 182.84. Okay. So here, that's where we are going to be if we were to open up right now as we speak, right? Based on the futures market, that's where it's going to open. So what we need to see for SPY is that first of all, we need to find a way. SPY needs to find a way to remount the 9 EMA and then the 5 EMA, which will show strong intent that okay, they want to reverse things to the upside, right? So in terms of risk to reward, like there's not much for this to do here with the SPY, right? It's just about 5 points up, and then you are going to get to all-time highs again. So we could get a choppy move here in the market for SPY. But so first and foremost, SPY, if SPY is to show strength, it needs to trade above this 684, right? So let's approximate it to 685. If it's trading above 685, then it's showing signs that okay, the bulls mean business. They want to close the year on a high note and they want to crack new all-time highs, right? So I believe that if the Japan situation is not crazy, I believe that we are going to make new all-time highs and do a blow off top, right? I believe that the S&P will reach that 7,000 or 700 magic number by the end of the year, right? That is if nothing catastrophic happens in Japan and nothing catastrophic happens with the job numbers and the CPI coming up this week, right? Then if that's the case, then it's going to be very good. So if the Japanese Fed sounds dovish and maybe they not cut interest rate they not increase interest rate. I keep on saying cutting interest rate. They not increase interest rate for one reason or the other, then it's going to cause the market to rally, and then we are going to get a solid rally to the upside and a blow off top, right? And a blow off top, once it starts, it could even send the S&P to 7,500, right? Anything can happen because during the holiday season, typically the market moves in the direction of what happened the previous week. Because during that time, the smart money, the guys that control the market, are going to be on holidays. So it's going to be mainly retail pushing the market. So in that scenario, what happens is that the retail just moves the market in the direction that it was the previous week, right? So if it was up, we are going to get a move to the upside, right? So it could be choppy, it could be low volume, but those are the times where you can capture some good moves and you can get some easy money trades. Like if you're a day trader, you can trade them and capture a move to the upside because it's like everybody moving in the same direction. The market opens, the stock or the SPY or the QQQ just starts moving in one direction. Like if it's up, it's going to go up, 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 consolidate, that kind of thing, right? So watch out for that in this holidays. That is if this week closes up as a high, as a green week. I believe that next week, which is a holiday week, into December 26th, that's Boxing Day, we are going to get that push to the upside and further. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So sounds good. So right now, the next thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the VIX, right? The VIX. I've been talking about the VIX. I did a video on that on Tuesday, and I talked about the significance of the VIX, right? And I said I drew this trend line here. Like I've not even deleted it. It's the same trend line I had on my video, right? This trend line. So you see here, every single time that the VIX has come here, we got this big spike, right? So this one here, oh, okay, aha. So here, this one, you see this? This happened during the, let me see here, just one sec, guys. Here. So this spike happened, right? During last year, during the Japanese carry trade issue, right? Catalyst, right? So look at how we spiked, right? And where are we here? We are back to this same area. And the Japanese central bank are about to make a decision. Are we going to get something like this again? Who knows, right? The VIX spiked to as high as in 1 week. It spiked to as high as 65. Crazy, right? It spiked as high as 65. So if that were to happen, we are going to get a big sell-off in the market, right? A big sell-off in the market. And this type of sell-offs is going to be where if you position yourself well, you can make a mint in the market, right? So it's about preparation, and once it happens, you take action. So here, based on pattern recognition, the last time price came here, look at what it did. It came here again, like close to this area. Look at what it did. It came here again. What did it do? It spiked. Are we about to get something similar? I don't know, right? I don't know. But based on pattern recognition, based on the technicals, that is what it's telling me. We could get some crazy spike in the market. So that will happen if and only if we get a hawkish Fed in Japan and they hike interest rate there and things go crazy, right? Then we are going to see a very long spike in the VIX. So also, what you have to know is that anytime the VIX is trading at around the $15 range, 15 to 17, 15 especially in the 15s, it shows signs of complacency in the market, right? That means there's no fear. Fear is at all-time low, right? It's nobody's fearing the market. So that means that we could have a potential volatility spike in the market when that happens, right? And based on the technical here, we've seen that happen in the past. So in technicals, what happened in the past has high likelihood of happening again in the future. So you just have to be careful. So I'm not here to scare anyone. I'm just presenting the facts, right? So that when you see it happen, you're not going to be blindfolded and say, oh, this is happening and I'm going to over leverage. No, this is not time to over leverage. This is not time to be going crazy on longs, right? It wouldn't make sense, right? So you have to be cautious. So this a chart I'm going to show you here, right? Let's check out the SPS chart. That's the S&P 500. Okay. So if you look at this, right, this is the weekly time frame for the SPS. So it's the same as SPY, but this is the index, right? So this is the S&P 500. So over here, you can clearly see that. Let me take these lines off. So this is why you have to know where we are in the market, so that if you are positioning, you use common sense to figure out, hey, no, this stuff is too risky to be over leveraging here, right? So this chart here, this is the weekly chart, right? This is a parallel channel. So here, first of all, parallel channels are formed based on, you first form what? A trend line, and then you extend it, then you form the parallel channel, okay? So here, from to do this, so this is your COVID low, right? Everybody remembers COVID, 2020 low, March 2020. Bear market lows, 2023 lows, and then Liberation Day, Trump tariff lows, right? When Trump had the tariff news and stuff that sent cross-border tariffs across all countries around the world, right? We thought that it was going to be only China and a few countries, but it looks like it turned out to be everybody. Everybody was not, nobody was exempt. Everybody was part of the tariff thing, right? So that caused the market to sell. So here, price has held this several times, right? This is a 5-year trend line, right? So this trend line, when you extend it to form a channel, parallel channel, anytime you can form a parallel channel with a trend line, it tells you that that trend line is valid. It's a solid trend line, right? And in this case, this is a 5-year trend line. So here, this is from 2020 to 2020 to where it is right now. This is the bull market high of 2021. We didn't quite get there. Here we are at that place again. So based on what has happened here in the past, we could start coming down again later on during this year. So if you're a trader, let's say you are a swing trader, you're a day trader, you are like, I mean, day trade is different, but if you're a swing trader, right, and you go and over leverage here, like say you go and you go and you want to end the year on some very high note, you want to take crazy risk, you go buy longs here and the market starts selling off. What's going to happen? You're going to blow up, right? You're going to blow your account for nothing, because here the risk to reward is not there, right? Because based on this, it tells you that a sell is imminent, right? So the risk to reward is not there. So I feel more comfortable betting to the downside than to the upside at this point, right? Because of where we are in the cycle, right? Where we are in the cycle, right? However, if I can get a blast through, we need to blast through this. Like this has struggled to break this. You don't just break a mother of all trend line or a 5-year trend line just like that. It needs a lot of force. It needs a lot of momentum, right? So far, we are still at the double top here. We shall see what happens this week. If we can blast through here, then it could be off to the races, right? However, anytime you break through a mother of all trend line or a significant trend line, or even trend line which is a resistance, or any type of resistance for that matter, the natural movement of stocks and ETFs is for them to come back, break and retest, or what I call retrace to the scene of the crime, right? So it's going to come back and retest at some point, and that is where it's going to prove strength to see if that move was valid or not, right? Going into the new year here, going into the festive season, if we're able to blast through this, I believe that we are going to float up. It's going to go like, because there's going to be low volume and retail is going to be controlling the market. Retail has been conditioned to buy the dip. So when the smart money is not there, they just want to push things up. It's going to float up, right? To wherever, right? 7,000 or maybe 7,500, right? And then once the smart money come back from holidays in January, they will say, hell no, this should not be trading here. They will start selling to the downside, right? So I believe that we can do something like this where we push up, then we drop a bit, and then boom. Or we could just go back. If this happens this week, then the coming weeks can be a melt up. We just go. And then once the smart money comes, they'll push this back here, retest this, and then we shall see if it can go up or it can descend from there. So as a trader, you always have to use risk to reward, right? So this not a time to be going big size on long trades. No, it's not. It's not a good time for that, right? Because you are going to find yourself in trouble if this starts selling off, and it could be the end of the bull cycle. It could be the end of the bull market, and you are there over leveraging. You're going to put yourself in trouble, right? So let the technicals guide you. Don't trade based on emotion. Don't trade based on narratives. Don't trade based on hype. Follow the technicals. Let the technicals be with you, right? Let the technicals be with you. So that's what I'll say. So here, now that we've gone through this, and so watch the VIX very well, because this is a critical level. Every single time the VIX has come here, what do we see? We got a bounce, right? And the bounce has been devastating, right? Look at this. Look at this spike. And this happened due to Japanese carry trade. So it could be a repeat of that this week here, if that happens, right? Who knows, right? Who knows? Anything can happen. So here we have this here. So we've seen the spikes. So let's see if we can get more spike coming up, or whether this is going to break. So if this breaks, that means that we are coming down, and the next area is going to be somewhere here, like 14, right? But the lower this goes, at some point we are going to get a big spike in volatility, right? It can go as low as $11 or $12. Okay, so keep an eye on the VIX while you're trading, and taking your positions, and know that if the VIX wakes up, then there's going to be more stress on the market. All right, so let me go to the next ticker, which is the QQQ, the almighty QQQ, right? So the QQQ. So this is what I call the megaphone pattern, right? I drew this megaphone pattern a while back. So those in our community, they know this. So this is nothing new, right? This is something that I drew a while back. And I mentioned that I expect the QQQ to come there, and then that's where it's going to start descending, like selling off. And so far, we came there. What did we do? We did a blow off top, right? Blow off top. This is what is called a blow off top, right? So it hit the top, and then it blew past it. You see there's a gap up even, right? There's a gap up here, right? Blow off top, okay? And what did you do is now back in here, right? However, when you look at this closely, right, you can see that this is putting in what looks like a head and shoulders, right? It's a head and shoulders, not what it looks like. It's a head and shoulders, right? Head and shoulders pattern is what? A bearish reversal pattern. So is this the end of the cycle? Is this the end of the road? Who knows, right? But the technicals is telling me that this here looks to me like a confirmation within the megaphone pattern of a bearish reversal pattern, right? So we shall see how that plays out. So the bulls need to come out of the gates this week to make sure that this does not happen, right? If we break below this trend, you see this trend line here. So first of all, we can see this first one. This is the first trend line here. This one is from, let me go to number 4. So right here, you can see here, this here has been a critical level. So here, this is this one touch here, 2 touch. Look at the dates. September 2nd, 3 touch, 4 touch, 5, and then here, right? So here, this was support. All the green arrows here was support, and then finally became what? Support. Now is turning into what? Resistance, right? That's technical analysis 101, right? So anytime you have something going up like that, it comes here, and what do you do? This is what I call a head bump, right? So it retraced and it came here. So basically, you see here, this was a breakdown of this trend line, right? So here it's called retrace to the scene of the crime. It came back to the place where it broke first, trying to see if it can break it, but it failed. What did he do? It puts a rounding top. I talked about this. Those that trade with me live every day in the day trading room, I talked about this, and I've talked about this in this live stream as well. That this is what a head and shoulders, right? Head and shoulders pattern. Okay. So now let me go to the other chart. We must hold this trend line. So you see this? trend line, this one here. We need to hold it. So this is the low of April 21st. This is the low here, and that's the low here, right? And we also have the 50. So there's multiple support for this to hold, right? It doesn't have any excuse not to hold this, right? It has multiple support to hold it. So if it holds here, we are going to get a push, possibly early this week here, maybe tomorrow. We can get a push to 618. And that 618 level is now going to act as what? Resistance, right? And once we crack through it, we are going to come to this area, right? So there's a possibility for this to bounce and reverse. However, the problem is that some of the stocks that control the QQQ are in deep trouble. They are showing bearish patterns, and I'm going to go through them with you here shortly. And you are going to see that, okay, this might be problematic, right? So if those stocks recover and do well, definitely you are going to see the QQQ rallying and pushing up, right? Yeah, so that's why I'm watching for QQQ. So if we break below this trend line here, is a short trade, and I'm going to target here, that's the 100 SMA and this gap fill, right? If we hold it, I'm going to look to go long and capture the move to the upside, and my ultimate target is going to be this place, this area, right? If it comes here, that's more than enough, and we shall see if it can go higher, right? So that's what I'm looking at here. All right, so let me look at the DIA, the Dow Jones Index, right? The DIA has been one of the best performing so far last week, and it's still holding its ground. So if you look at this closely, you can see here we have this trend line here, right? So the DIA has been holding this trend line. So we shall see if the bulls are able to blast through. So if you're able to blast through this, we are going to see a push up, right? So here this has acted as what? Has acted as like resistance, right? So this is resistance. So put it right, and here. So you have here. So you have there. So this has acted as resistance, 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 right? So here, one. This one came here, kissed it, 2, 3, and then what? And then 4. Okay. So this DIA could either break out or break down, right? And I mean, the futures is showing that it's green so far, so I believe that it's going to break out now. It's going to break here. So DIA could be a good one for a long tomorrow. So a pop here and retest, then we can get the move higher, right? So where is my ultimate target for DIA? Let me go to my chart to show you where I'm targeting DIA to go. So DIA here, this is the Dow Jones Index. DIA here is looking. So if you look at the DIA, this is the weekly. Let me go to the weekly time frame. So this is what I look at for DIA, right? So this is a parallel channel. So this is your COVID low. This is close to the 2023. And then here, this zone 2025, right? Liberation Day. So far, we are here. We still have a few points left to get to the top of this channel, right? Once we get to the top of the channel, I believe that can start coming this week, where we can push up above that and push, right? So right now we are here. We are somewhere here. We need to crack above this. If we crack above this, then we are going to go higher and push to this area. Okay, so that's how I see the DIA playing out. DIA is showing strength, and some of the stocks that are doing well, led by Goldman Sachs. If you check out Goldman Sachs chart, Goldman Sachs is like going non-stop, right? Goldman Sachs go up, and now it's going to come back here, retrace to the scene of the crime, and go up, right? And then if you look at other stocks like let's say JPM, the financials. JPM is putting in like a triple top here, and it's looking to go down as well. So we shall see how it goes, but we can get a breakout to tomorrow. Okay. All right. So now let me go to crypto. Let me go to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is in trouble. Let's see here. I believe Bitcoin will surprise a lot of people. Bitcoin will surprise a lot of people here, right? So over here, this is, oops, take this out here. So this is the chart of Bitcoin, yeah? This is a chart of Bitcoin showing green so far, showing resilience. Bitcoin has gone through a lot. So here we have, so let's analyze this chart well. So as a trader, you should be able to recognize bear flags, right? Every downtrend has a bear flag in it. You cannot have a downtrend without any bear flag. Typically, there's some kind of bear flag involved, at least one or two or more, right? Sometimes you can have 3, 4, 3 to 5 coming down. So here, look at this. Let's identify the bear flag. So from here to here is what? We got this move, and this is the bear flag number 1, okay? So giving you a master class on bear flags, right? Bear flag number 1. And then what happened here? We got a break of the bear flag, right? So now we came back, and then what's bear flag number 2 here? Bear flag number 2 over here, right? Something like this. And then what do? We broke below it, okay? Here as well, we have like bear flag number 3, like this. Oops, it's not what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for here. Bear flag number 3, right? So here, like, we can move this up to this area here. You have bear flag what? This broke, and then boom, it came down, right? So right now, where we are at right now is that Bitcoin is putting in what looks like a bear flag here. It has not triggered yet. You know, something can do like it's doing something, but it has not triggered, right? So as long as it has not triggered, it's not valid yet, right? Until it triggers. Okay. So here, there's also a bear flag, right? You see here, we are at a critical point here. Critical point. It must hold here. So you see here. See here. You see here. It must hold here. If it fails here, it's going to trigger the break of the bear flag, and we might get something like this. You see here what has happened here? We might get something like this, right? So that is how these things work. Okay. But we could also get a bounce. And this time around, that bounce, if it's a real bounce, we are going to get a crack above this bear flag area, above the 50 EMA, SMA, and then break out and go, right? So Bitcoin is at a crossroads here. It needs to do that. If it doesn't hold, then Bitcoin will go to 74,000, right? 74,000. That's going to be the next destination if that bear flag triggers. So somewhere here, 75K, somewhere here, or even somewhere here, this area, right? Can even go as low as 65,000. So that's where I think Bitcoin can go to if this bear flag triggers. So if it doesn't trigger, then we are going to get a push to the upside. So watch out for that bear flag and keep an eye on it for all Bitcoin related stuff, right? Yeah. So let's look at so with that in mind, let's look at a number of Bitcoin related things. Let's look at the ETF. So if this triggers, I'm going to look to short the IBIT ETF to the downside. You can get like $50 puts expiring 26 of December or this week, right? You could just trade it, make your money, and walk away, right? So then you are going to be targeting. So areas where you have to target is, take this off. If we trigger that, so here this is going to be the bear flag, right? If that bear flag triggers, that's not triggered yet, so it's still there. So here, if this triggers, next area is going to be coming here to fill this gap. Right, coming somewhere here to fill this gap. There's a gap here. Then we target next area is going to be here. Then next area is going to be here. Then once we get here, we can dream further, right? So there's the bear flag. This is what we have to watch. Or it can just come down here and then boom, come down here. It's already at the bottom here. It's not showing yet because the market is closed here for this ETF, and it's going to bounce from there and take off, right? take off to the $100,000 mark, which is around $60, and go from there. So that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin. So all crypto related names, like, even like Robinhood, right? Robinhood too is selling, and if you look at the chart here on Robinhood is coming into a parallel channel, right? So, for instance, if crypto or Bitcoin recovers, like I expect Robinhood to bounce here, because you see here, last time it came here, it bounced, right? Should do the same thing here. Here it came. So here, look at this. Isn't this incredible? So this came to the 50% mark of the parallel channel, right? And the 50% level is a resistance level. So that's why you see it couldn't go. It consolidated there and then it popped. One of the reasons why this sold off was because there was analysts downgrade. One of the analysts said it's overpriced and their target was set low, and it caused Robinhood to sell. So analysts do that from time to time, and what they do is that they do that in a way to spook people off to sell the shares so that they can scoop up cheaper shares, right? So Robinhood could be a good one here this week, where if crypto reverses, if Bitcoin reverses and shows strength, don't be surprised to see Robinhood back at this 50% range again and push up, okay? So that's what I'm going to be watching up. And there's also Coinbase as well. You can check out that one as well. But the next sector that I'm going to go into is going to be healthcare. So healthcare is doing well. I believe next year, some of the tickets that are going to do well are going to be in healthcare, right? At the beginning of the year, I'm going to publish my year report on which sectors and stocks I believe are going to do well in 2026. And that's going to be available to only members, right? So if you're not a member of the Trading Rich community, you are not going to get access to this. So you can join the free community here. Yeah, so join the free community at tradingrich.com. So it's easy to join. You come here, you go to Trading Rich. You see this? Tradingrich.com here. You can see that this here, first thing that you see is what? Join now. Join the free community. So join the free community and you are going to get access to the report. It's going to come out by the second week of January. You should get it. Members are going to get it so that they can review, and that's going to help them position for the upcoming year, okay? And so you don't want to miss that. So if you're not part of the community, join the free community now as soon as possible. And also, if you've not signed up if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do, and also share it with your friends and family, okay? All right, so here, what I'm looking at here is that, so I'm looking at the healthcare. So let's start with the healthcare ETF, right? XLV, okay? So as a trader, if you're doing swing trading, you want to check the ETF of the whole sector to see what's going on, or where the stock is listed, right? How is that area doing? So if you look at this, so watch this closely here, right? So we got this push. So you're going to see that this chart here is the same as what you see here with Eli Lilly, right? It's the same thing, right? Same thing, same stuff, okay? So XLV. So here you could take a swing trade here on XLV. Actually, XLV is showing more strength than Eli Lilly, because you see it's trading above the 20. That's a purple line here. And then if you look at Eli Lilly, it's a pharmaceutical company, is trading below, but that's not a problem. I believe that is going to rip and stuff. So XLV, so you can take SLV long here if we break above this level. So you see here, above this highs, above 54.82, you can go long, you can buy call options and ride it to the upside here, right? To the 160 mark. Okay. So with this in mind, let's look at the Eli Lilly, right? Eli Lilly is a solid company, right? It's a pharmaceutical company, and it was showing relative strength on Friday. Like, look at this, close solid grain on Friday, right? So now I'm going to go into my top tickets for the week here, and I'll start with the longs, right? I'll start with the longs, and I'm going to talk about the shorts, right? So I have it balanced here. So longs and shorts, whichever one triggers first, you can take them and make your money, right? So as a trader, you're going into the market with no bias at all, right? You go in as a professional and objective, right? You don't always think long, 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 or short, short, short. No, you go in neutral, have a long trade plan, have a short trade plan. Whichever one triggers first, you take it, and that's it, right? There's no long-term investing. You are not married to any stock. You are not holding it and that kind of thing. You are here to profit from it from a move, right? A short-term move. Make your money, walk away, rinse and repeat. Do it the same thing again next time, right? So here, I see Eli Lilly here. So this here is see this is the ripped, right? It went up. Typically, right? If a stock is moving up and rising, 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 right? Some of the signs of the top of the rally is when you see from here to here, right? The longest candle so far was this, right? Anytime you have something like that happen, it tells you that the party is over or is coming to an end, right? All of a sudden, like you see that this push is one of the highest candles here. So because this was, small candles, small candles, small candles, consolidation, then boom, when it got here, what did he do? It pushed, right? Very long candle. That tells you that the party is coming to an end. And then the next candle that was flash was what? Like a reversal candle, right? Like a tiny top and tail candle. And then what happened next was what? A sell. So this was a control sell. Red, red, red. So this looks like institutional selling, like folks taking profits because like year end is coming. So they're taking profit, taking profit, taking profit. And then this also formed what? This here, all these green candles formed price imbalance, right? So once it's coming down, you have this red, 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 red. Now we are seeing this bottoming here and curling up. So let me put the lines here. So I'm looking to get a long trade on Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is the contracts are very expensive, right? Yeah, look at that, like $21 and stuff, and because the stock is very expensive here, right? 1,030. However, in this trade, if this trades above the 20, you can look to go long and set up a swing trade that can take you to this area, right? So if you cannot afford the Eli Lilly stuff, you can get. I got you covered. So you have the leverage ETF, right? LLYX. There's a whole bunch of leverage ETFs all over the place, right? Here, this one. So you can get this leverage ETF. That one is going to be cheaper to buy. And so you can buy something, buy time on this because this has ability to move and move significantly, right? So what I will do is that I will get something expiring either in January or in March, right? Because if I want to capture the all-time highs, so the target here, your target for this trade is to get this to go back to all-time highs, right? Eli Lilly to go back to all-time highs. So you can get something like the $25 calls expiring January 16th or March 20th, 2026. That way you buy in time, you're not worried about it, and allow it to play out and capture the move to the upside, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to hold to March 2020. You are just going to, once it gets to all-time high, mission accomplished, you are done, move on, right? Sell if you want to hold some runners, that's fine, but it's going to produce that way. That way you're buying time and allow, because this healthcare stocks, sometimes they can be finicky, right? You can get some news about some drug trial, something, and it did not work out and it causes you to sell. So you want to manage your risk by buying time on this, right? Okay, so Eli Lilly is one of the stocks that I'm going to be watching here for a long. Next one I'm going to be watching in the healthcare space as well, which we have done very well with UNH. UNH, we caught the bottom on the UNH, but UNH is putting in what looks like an inverse head and shoulders here. And I think UNH can go as high as 381 soon. So the first move is for it to break above this 50 SMA. If it breaks above it, then it's going to go to the 200. And above the 200 is going to be off to the races. That's going to be a huge milestone. So we caught UNH from here to this area. Like I started selling here, right? Call it 60% move. sold majority of my stuff. I still have this a tiny piece of my position here. I'll look to add to it here to capture the move to over here. Once we get across this, then I believe it's good. So next year will be the year of these stocks, like the pharmaceutical house, Eli Lilly, UNH and stuff. You can see this go back to like 500 in no time. First of all, it needs to crack this 200, get to $400 of share price, and then we can go from there. Next one is Novo. So guys, don't sleep on this Novo, because Novo is something that, all these weight loss drugs that are going about all over the place is Novo. Novo is creating them, is manufacturing them, right? You have Wegovy, you have Ozempic, you have all these things. So Novo is about to explode, and I already have a position in this. Full disclosure, I alerted it to our community. So we are in the $60 calls expiring 2027, January 2027. Why did I get the January 2027 calls? Because pharmaceutical companies take a while, right? Sometimes there's news about drug trial, this, that. So they are not like tech stocks that move very fast. So you buy time, you forget about it. One day you just wake up, you see Novo trading at $100 or $90, right? That's how you play this, right? So this is a long-term play, right? I'm not looking at it to buy and make profit from it tomorrow. It's a long-term play. So don't miss out on this. This is going to do wonders next year. This is one of the stocks that are going to do well together with UNH and Eli Lilly. Okay. All right. So now let me go to other stocks. One stock that I'm watching, we traded in the day trading room. So on Friday. So again, if you want to day trade with me, what you need to do is that you come to our site here, go to courses, and you can live day trade, right? So again, if you want to master the art of day trading, where we trade only 1 hour a day. We don't sit behind a computer all day, right? We trade where there's the highest volume. Make our money, walk away, right? So I'll show you what happened on Friday. On Friday, we more or less, it was a one and done trade kind of thing. So Tesla, right? So you look at Tesla here. Tesla, we traded Tesla in the morning, and it was an absolute beauty. So here, you see this move? See this move here? From here to here, we captured that move in the morning. So by, when was it? By before 10 a.m., 9:55, we're done, right? The easy money was gone, right? I mean, obviously, there's also the shorts here, but it was Friday, made money already. This was a 15 points move, like more than enough to make money, right? So yeah, so this worked out nicely. You also presented an opportunity to short it. I told members that when we're trading, we checked in around the 2 minutes time frame. I said, oh, this stuff looks like it's tired, and SPY was selling, so it was going to affect Tesla. It's going to push it down. So I believe Tesla would, if the market is strong this week, I believe Tesla will make that milestone of reaching all-time highs, right? Because that's the only Magnificent Seven stock that hasn't hit, recovered and made all-time highs yet. You see, all the Magnificent Seven stocks have hit all-time highs and sold off and stuff, right? But Tesla is the only one that has not done that. So one stock I'm watching tomorrow and watching this week is Tesla, right? You don't want to miss out on this, because I'll explain to you why I think this is going to be off to the races here. And even in the overnight trading, I'm seeing that Tesla is already up by 2 points or something. Let me see. 2 points is nothing for Tesla, by the way. So let's see. Yeah, Tesla is up by 3 points. It's trading at 462. Okay, so let's analyze this chart. So over here we have the weekly time frame, right? This is a weekly time frame here, and let me take out these lines here for a minute, right? You look at the weekly time frame. This is your cap, and this is your handle. Okay, cap and handle on the weekly, right? And if you look down here, look at this. This is the highs, all-time highs, and here. Okay, let me put back the lines and show you what's going on. So you see that this week was the highest, one of the highest weekly close, all-time weekly close, right? So the closing of the candle is here. candle close here, right? So it closed above this candle, closed above that, right? I would say it's equal to this, but throughout the history of Tesla, this last week's close was the highest, right? Highest, right? On record. So if it was the highest in a day where, in a week where the some of the indices closed red, like the Nasdaq and things, and also the SPY closed red on Friday, then it tells you that there's momentum to go, right? So this exhibited what I call relative strength, right? Even though the market was weak, Tesla showed resilience and it closed green on Friday. So if you look at Friday, what did it do? It closed green. What did the SPY do? It's listed in the SPY. What the SPY do? SPY is red. So anytime a stock that is listed in an index or ETF, like a SPY, it closes green and the SPY, the index or the ETF closes red, that means that that stock is showing relative strength. Meaning that if buyers step in SPY, you are going to see a big move in Tesla this week, right? So one stock I'm watching, this could be off to the races on Monday here. It's not even going to wait. It's going to just take off, right? So if you look at this here, you can see that. Let me go to the weekly. So here you can see that this is the all-time highs, one touch. So this is a trend line here, right? One touch, all-time highs, two touch, three, right? It pierced it, it came back down. 4, 5, right? This week, if we break it, that's going to give us 80% probability to break it, right? Because if you have like a brick wall and you keep on hitting it, boom, 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 right? The more you hit it, the weaker it becomes. So that's what is going to cause that explosive move in Tesla. So do not be surprised to see Tesla trading at 490. 490 will be new all-time highs. Or even if it gets to the previous all-time highs, that's good enough, right? That's going to give us about how many? 30 points, 40 points move in this. That should be more than enough here. And then my ultimate target for Tesla by December 26th is for Tesla to hit the $500 magic number, which is going to be a psychological number, right? So that's what I'm watching here. So above this trend line here, this downsloping orange trend line, we are going to get a weekly squeeze and we are going to hit that all-time high level. Okay, so that's Tesla. And Tesla's cousin, Rivian, is also doing well, right? Rivian. So Rivian is they came out last week saying that they launch a new chip. They are going to create their own chips, and the chips are going to rival what Nvidia and all the other companies have. So, which is a good thing. So, this kind of developments is eating into the semiconductor sector and AI. So they have their own AI chip now. So there's going to be more and more competition coming up. So in 2026, some of these semiconductor stocks are not going to perform as they did this year. So 2026, I believe, is going to be a stock pickers market. The year of the sophisticated investor and experienced trader, right? It's not going to be like this. I mean, this year we got some of that, but next year is going to be different because all the high-flying semiconductor companies, they have to justify their value in 2026, right? So anything to do with bad earnings and stuff, they are going to be demolished, right? That's what's going to happen. So here, I see Rivian here. So you have this broadening pattern here. I believe that we are going to crack through this. If we break above 1971, we are going to push to $20 and beyond. So watch out for Rivian to break out. So if Tesla is doing this thing, I believe Rivian to break out and go as well, right? So we'll see how that plays out. So we saw this candle here because of the announcement, but it's still trading here. We need that push, blast through, right? We can blast through here, crack this 20, trade above $20 and above. This has smooth sailing. This can go to $22. So one of the stocks I'm going to be watching this week is going to be Rivian, followed by Tesla, right? Tesla and Rivian. So those are ones I'm going to be watching closely this week. And now that I've talked about my longs, let me talk about my shorts, what I'm looking at. So again, it could also flip long. So whichever way, we are going to trade it. So first of all, let's go to SMH. So if you're in our swing trade service, we caught this entire move on SMH, right? It was a thing of beauty, right? Completely, like from here. This was the Monday. So I alerted this in the swing trading service. We were targeting, I think it was 350 calls, right? Expiring December 26th. We caught this entire move, right? This entire move here in the swing trading service, right? That's how you play swing trades, right? Now, where did it come to? And I told members that the ultimate target was all-time highs. We came to all-time highs, we blast through, and then we started going down. So here by here, all members paid themselves, took profits already, right? So now, once you get here, because of the double tops, now you can flip shots, right? So you can play the same thing up and play it down. So with this double top, we saw that triggered and it caused this sell. So here we are going to see if the SMH is going. So SMH is the semiconductor ETF. So your Nvidias of this world, AMD, AVGO. I'm going to talk about AVGO very soon and stuff. So one of the reasons why this did this was AVGO had their earnings. They beat earnings. Everything was good. But they were saying something that there's more competition now, and that's going to eat into their profits coming up in the next year, and that caused them the stock to sell, right? So here, this is SMH. So SMH, if it trades below this 50 this week, is going to go down, right? If not, we are going to get the bounce. So let's look at AVGO. The reason why the semi sell off, sort of. So AVGO is interesting, right? Before earnings, I had this trend line here. See this, and that, right? And I'm like, okay, the only way AVGO is going to blast through this trend line is if they produce earnings. By the way, AVGO is a solid company, solid company, Broadcom, right? Yeah, I love the company, it's solid, right? So the only way they were going to blast through this is if they produce earnings and their guidance is spectacular or something like similar to the cure for cancer, right? That's what's going to cause it to break out and go. And you see that it couldn't go, right? It respected it, and then that news came out. Initially it popped, and then it sold up. So we are back here in this area. So this trend line here, this one, last time it came here, it bounced as well here and here. So let's see if it can hold this time. Maybe we can see a bounce here if it can remount the 50. And if it does that, we are going to see more push to the upside, right? The earnings was good, everything was great, but those statements were something that the market did not like, and it caused it to sell off, right? So AVGO can be a short or it can be a long, depending on how it sets up. Break of this upsloping trend line will mean that we are going down, and then if it remounts it, we are going up, okay? Then NVIDIA, let's check out NVIDIA itself. NVDA. So NVIDIA has been the AI leader, right? So there are two AI groups. There's one led by Google, and there's Google or Alphabet, and there's one led by NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA's own is being under attack, and you see that all the stocks in that group have been affected. AMD, Nebis, CoreWeave, all of them sold off last week, right? So here you have this going up here. So if NVIDIA is able to break below this trend line, it's going to head down. So over here, what do we see here? Can somebody tell me what they see here in this pattern here? What do you see here? Over here with NVIDIA, right? So if you can type it in the chat, let me see what you guys, if you guys are paying attention. Let's see if somebody can figure it out, right? So over here you have this here, and here you have this, right? You have this here. See this. This is a bear flag, right? This is another bear flag here. So if you look at this, this is a bear flag. So if you break below this, then the bear flag is going to trigger. It has not triggered yet. It can fail. So if we get a green candle that closes above this tomorrow, then it's negated, right? But if this breaks, it's going to come down. So this is a bear flag, right, on NVIDIA. And then this trend line must hold. If it doesn't hold, then we can short NVIDIA to the downside, targeting 169, and then below 169, this thing will be at the 200. I believe that next year, at some point, NVIDIA is going to come and test the 200, right? It could be trading at it could be trading as low as 130 next year, right? They're not going to have this high evaluation, because what's going to happen is that it's going to be more and more competition, and the more competition is going to affect their sales, right? Yeah, so that's something that you need to know. Yeah, so Nvidia is putting a bear flag. If this triggers, it's going to sell off, right? And if Nvidia sells off, you know that the market is going to sell off. Then I have Amazon as well. So all these are part of the Magnificent Seven. So Amazon has put in a head and shoulders pattern, and it has sold off and came to this critical trend line. Break of this trend line will cause a sell-off and a positive trade to the 200, right? To come to the 200. So that's a target for a short if it comes down. And next one is going to be Microsoft. Microsoft's situation is interesting. Look at this. Microsoft startup after Liberation Day rally, it went all-time high, consolidated, played all sort of games, came fill this gap, went back up again, put in highs here, put in a double top, red flag. And then what did he do? It has sold off from there. So here we have what? This is a bear flag break, right? Bear flag, are we going to break again? Who knows? I don't know, right? We shall see, right? So it either maybe test this 200 early tomorrow and then bounce from there, shake people off, shake the weekends off, and then reverse. So Microsoft is under attack, right? The next one, this is part of Magnificent Seven, but this is a AI play. It's part of the AI family, right? AI family. So here you have here another head and shoulders pattern. Head and shoulders, right? It has not triggered yet. So if you go to the weekly, you can clearly see there on the weekly here, you have the head, you have the this, and you have that, right? That's the head and shoulders. So if this breaks below here, then we are going to get a trigger and it's going to go down, right? So we shall see if they trigger this week. So those are the ones I'm watching. And also last week I talked about in the Tuesday's YouTube video, I talked about Light. So this company is into cloud computing, data centers and all that stuff, AI, something to do with AI, right? And if you watch that video, I talked about this, like at the time we didn't have this. I talked about this going into forming what? A topping tail candle. And that if it does that or it shows signs of weakness, it's going to be a shorting opportunity. So if you look at this, look at that. Look at this has sold off, right? So it went up and this is a bearish engulfing candle. So this tells me that there's still more downside to this. We shall see, depending on the general market. At least I expect this to come to the 300 mark this week, right? And again, this stock here has been going parabolic, right? So I like to short stocks that have been like they are moving, and they're not like, look at this. This is too much. This gone up too much, right? Parabolic, right? And I mentioned that if you count this is the weekly time frame, if you count the candles, right? So here, from here, when the breakout started, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Usually after the seventh candle, there's always like some kind of reaction, and this is what we are getting. So this topping tail is telling me this is a bearish pattern. We are going to get more sell to the downside, right? Don't be surprised to see this stock in the 200s sometime next year or before the end of the year here, right? So I'm positioning to short this and ride the move to the downside, and once it confirms, to ride it up to the upside as well. There's a similar example of this that happened. I've been talking about this. SanDisk here. This one, SanDisk, right? This one. So this one too, same idea. Look at it. It did this parabolic move, and what did you do? Put in a topping tail candle. It doesn't matter the color of the candle. Once you get a topping tail, it tells you that the party is over. Back off. The party is over, right? They call the cops, and the cops say, we are making too much noise. The party is over. So time to go home, right? That's what happened here, right? So here, look at this. From the top here to this area, this is sort of what? By 100 points. 100 point sell-off, right? So this is how you can figure out where the top is and capture a significant move to the downside. And what do we see here on because this also into AI as well. Now that everything is being affected, you look at this, it's sold off on Friday. So we shall see if it holds this 100 SMA here. If it doesn't hold, then we are going to get more sell to the downside. So if you look at this, this was a zone that I created. It blasted through it, but it couldn't go. Bad news for AI, and this came back down. So I believe that is going to hold here, hold this 50 at least. And then if the AI trade is still back on and the market is showing strength, it can recover. So these are the key stocks that I'm watching. And this one here is going to be, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I took a position on it, but I think we still have more downside, right? At least over here, 300, right? That I'm going to get like a 22-point move to the downside. I'm looking to get this to this area. Once it comes here, I know that, see, anytime it comes here is what? Bounce, bounce, bounce. So, if you are shorting this, you want to be careful here. It could get a bounce as well. Or if the general market is weak, then things like this are going to sell. So when the market is weak like that, you want to go and attack stocks that have been so extended to the upside, have gone parabolic. Those ones are easy shorts, right? If you look at this, on Friday alone, this thing sold off by what? 46 points and 12% move to the downside. Imagine trading this with 0 DTE options. You would just making a killing on this, right? So these are a type of play. So this is high probability plays, because once this came here, this area, it's a low risk trade in the sense that how far can it go? That's how you have to assess. How far can it go? Like, is it going to go to 400? Yeah, fine. If it goes to 400, once the thing triggers and we see that volume is decreasing, you see here, we have this candle go up, and all of a sudden we have the red candle. So is this red bars going to continue? Who knows, right? We shall see. Okay. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. That's it for tonight's live stream here. Thank you for joining. And also, I want to make an important announcement. Next year, in the month of January, we are launching a brand new program, which is I'm very excited about that program. So for those that want to learn about trading, this is going to be your best shot for that. It's going to be, trading options, right? Trading options. So there's going to be a challenge. So it's going to be a challenge. Next year's is going to be launched in January, right? So we are going to have a trading challenge, and there's an opportunity for everybody to participate. And anybody that you know that wants to learn about trading, this is going to be the best opportunity for them, right? So it's going to take people from beginner and get them into trading options, right? Trading options for the first time, right? Yeah. So that's something that I'm going to provide you guys with more information in the next live stream. But just a heads up, once it's available, I'm going to share all the details, and you can share it with your friends and those that want to learn, because 2026 is going to be the year of the sophisticated investor, and sophisticated investors can pick stocks, right? The stock pickers, right? And also it's going to be the year of the experienced trader, right? So I believe that next year we are going to get a bear market at some point, right? I don't know when. It could happen within the first quarter, because I believe that we are coming to an end of a cycle, right? We are coming to the end of the bull market, as we know it, and all signs are there. And the U.S. economy is showing weakness. So I believe that the U.S. economy will go into a recession as well. Once that happens, I believe that is going to cause the market to sell off significantly. So that's a time where you should know which stocks to own and which stocks not to own, right? It's going to present very big opportunities, right, for those that are trained. Once people are scared, that's time that there's going to be opportunity for you to get high quality names at very good prices, and so that to prepare for the next bull market, right? So it's going to be great for day traders as well. If you're a technical analysis trader and you're a day trader, the bear market is going to present very good opportunities, right? Like, it's even going to be more fun than the bull market. So yeah, so this is the time to lock in. This is the time to learn how to trade. No excuses, right? This is the time. So there's a lot of things happening in the world right now. We're seeing lots of folks losing their jobs due to AI. The folks that are working with tech companies, a lot of people are getting laid off due to AI. So the funny thing that these tech companies do is that they hire people for them to train their AI platform or software or whatever, and then the AI takes their job, right? So it's not fun, right? It's not fun. So there's a time where you have to learn a new skill, which is recession proof. Actually, during the recession, you are going to get very good opportunities. Like you are going to see big movements in the market, right? Especially to the downside. And you know that, once the market is selling off, you have opportunities to make more money than when the market is going up. So this is the best time to buckle down. If you've not, if you are still thinking about signing up for a program, this is the best time to do so. If you've bought the program and you've not gone through it, make sure you go through it, because next year is going to be a very big year, right? And it's going to present a lot of opportunities. So here, if you want to day trade with me, and it's going to be a very big year for day traders, right? If you want to day trade with me, options and futures, you can come here and sign up for it. So I'm going to put the link here. So this is a monthly subscription. You subscribe, and then you trade with me live every single day, right? And this not just like telling you buy this, buy that. No. So I tell you the reason, the technical reason why we are entering the trade, where the exit was there. So everything is transparent. There's the exit, there's the entry, sell here, hold it here. I explain every single thing. So it's not like you are just following signals and discords and all these things, jumping from place to place. No, this is very live day trading where you get guidance, right? All throughout the trade, right? So if you want to learn, if you are here to learn, you are going to learn, right? And don't miss out on this opportunity, because once the opportunity is gone, you might not get it again, right? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube. Some are good, some are not good, but here you are going to learn. Yesterday we had a testimonial with one of our members. This member joined us in July, and right now he's a consistent. So it's like a husband and wife duo, right? The wife is a swing trader, takes our swing trading signals, and she's doing really well. So what she's doing, I asked her what has been helping you to do well in the swing trading service. Okay, when you post the video, what I do is that I go through it, write down every single thing. I mark all my levels on my chart. I set alerts and stuff. I don't even just wait for you to alert anything, right? I go ahead and take the trade once it triggers. So sometimes by the time you even alert the trade, they have already taken the trade. That is how to learn. That is how to be successful in this market. Not just copying, right? Just go copy and stuff like that, right? You can do that, but you want to be grounded and learn, right? And she's doing very well, very, very well, right? Right. And the husband is doing he's a day trading guy. He's a day trader, right? Also took our course and stuff. And right now he's been a consistently profitable trader. Whereby the day trading now for just an hour is replacing his side gig. He has a full-time job, but he used to have a side gig where after work, you know how it is. After work, you're doing all these side gigs. Either it's Uber or whatever, skip the dishes or DoorDash and all these things, right? Whereby you are spending like 6 hours doing that. So you go and hustle. You make like $100 after 6 hours, right? But he can make that in 5 minutes in the market. And he's just doing that only 1 hour a day. He does it before going to work, right? So, and what is he doing? He's documenting every single thing, right? Learning, like came to the day trading service stuff, learn from it, and then he's practicing, putting it to practice, executing, right? Because if you don't execute, you're not going to know, right? You're not going to know how it is. So for those that want to take things to the next level, we are here to support you, right? You are here to, yeah. So this not a service for excuses, right? No excuses here. People are killing it. People in the day trading service pulling money from the market on a daily basis and also on a weekly basis. So you can do it as well. If they can do it, you can do it. So yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm done here for the day. So this is and again, the swing trading service, we've already posted the videos for this week. The top tickets for the week, and I believe those tickets are ready to go. So if you want to sign up for the day trading service, this is it here, posted in the chat here. So basically, what is this? So this swing trading services are very unique in the sense that it's not like the other ones out there, right? I mean, I've joined other signals where it just send you something, right? You don't even know when the entry is, where the distance is. But here, they like on a Sunday like this, I give you a video. So that video alone is more than enough. I don't even need to alert anything, right? It's more than enough for you to execute on the trade if you know what you're doing, right? I explain why I'm taking the trade, the thesis behind it, why I'm taking the trade, where your entry is going to be, where your exit is going to be. So we have a game plan for long and short, whichever one, right? And strike prices, every single thing is provided. So what you need to do is, as a serious trader, right? What you need to do is to go to your software, whether it's TC2000 or TradingView or whatever it is. What you do is that you go and mark your levels, set alerts on your phone or your software, so that when it triggers you, because swing traders don't want to be sitting there and watching it all day, right? It just levels. So once it triggers, you go. So you only take a trade once your level triggers. You won't be patient. So as a swing trader, you have to be very patient. So what does this do? So over here in this service, basically what we do is that every Sunday I provide my top 3 tickets for the week. I've already provided it to subscribers already. And you get, once I take the trade, like I alert it. Once I take it with my money, I alert it. I tell you, okay, I've taken the trade. Obviously, it's not all trades that are going to work, but our win rate is high. We have like a 90% win rate. Last week, we traded ASTS. So ASTS was one of our trades of the week last week, and it ripped up very well, right? Look at this. ASTS. So ASTS, when was it? This is what's this? Here, what is this? Monday, right? So this, we took this trade on Monday, right? And this went from all the way, like Monday was up and he sold off and stuff, but it went all the way to this area. Look at that. See, it went. So this is the Monday. No, not this trade. This one. This was recent. This one here, over here. So we took this trade on Monday the 12th, and we were able to capture the move here. This was a 20% move on the equity, right? This was hundreds of percent in the ASTS, right? So by Thursday, we are already deep in the money. We got the $80 calls expiring December 26th. So you just need one trade a week. You don't need many trades, right? One trade a week, right? We also had hold struggled, who did well at the beginning. It got to 140 mark, and then it just built out from there. And that's analyst news came and it just sort of, right? So there was opportunity to take profit here, but it started selling off and things. So we took first profit. The one that was left was runners, and it hit our stop loss and we came out, right? So again, the most important thing is one good trade. So this ASTS was more than enough, right? The previous week we traded CoreWeave before the sell-off. Look at CoreWeave, right? We caught CoreWeave here. Where is the thing? Yeah, there you go. Look at CoreWeave, right? CoreWeave was here, and then we have this, right? This bounce, and then it did that stuff here. So, and then we also have XOXL. Okay, yeah. So guys, that's about it, man. So those in the day trading service will trade live tomorrow, options and futures, and those in the swing trade service, once the tickets trigger, I will alert them, and then we can take the trades as well. Okay. So if there are no questions, have a good night. Bye for now. I don't see any questions here, so bye, guys.